Move over, little blue pill. Viagra for women may be about to hit the marketplace. The drug could get FDA approval today, making it the first libido-boosting drug for women suffering from a condition called hypoactive sexual desire disorder.
Good to get that out. Sprout Pharmaceuticals began developing the drug 4 years ago. It hasn't been an easy road. Critics say it's a medical solution to a problem that a pill can't fix. Others say the company is using a feminist agenda in the name of profit. But supporters ask, why has this kind of drug taken so long to get to market? Here to help us suss all this out is Bloomberg's Drew Armstrong. So, Drew, this is basically the female Viagra, right?
Well, I would say that it's just about anything but. There's a couple of really important differences here.
Okay.
Now, Viagra, when you think about men's and women's sexuality, Viagra essentially is a case of, the mind is willing, the body is weak. Female sexuality, when they've tried to develop drugs for this, it's a much more complex process. And this drug by Sprout isn't, something that messes around with blood flow. It actually it's in the brain. It's some of the same drugs. It's some of the same drugs involved and same targets involved in antidepressants, going after serotonin transmitters, that kind of thing. It has to be taken every single day at bedtime. Has some real side effects.
Like what?
Some of them include like low blood pressure. You can't use alcohol. You can't take birth control. You might pass out the next day because if you're on one of those things, it can cause low blood pressure. You get up, you fall over.
You'd be like, I thought it was me.
The other thing is the effectiveness isn't that great. In some cases, the trial data that we've seen in the final stage trials, these women, they start at a baseline of about 2 or 3 what they call satisfying sexual events a month, and they get half to 1 more than that when they're on the drug. It's not a huge difference maker for a drug that people are going to have to take every single day. And we really don't know what the FDA is going to do later today, we presume, when this decision is revealed.
Any idea of the kind of money involved in this? I mean, they must have done some estimates as to the market.
Yeah, there's millions of women that do suffer from this disorder. There's in no way should we conflate the effectiveness of this drug or the side effects with the fact that this is a real disorder. I mean, and sex is something that is pretty fundamental to our human existence, and to not be able to have it for reasons either physical, mental, or chemical is something that, you would hope that one day pharmaceutical companies will find a solution for women. So there is a very real market here. We're talking millions of women potentially. They're talking about pricing this drug around the same as a wholesale cost of Viagra in terms of monthly use. Obviously very different drugs. But, saying, hey, we think that there should be some parity here in how these things are and how these things are sold and marketed.
So this is it was rejected, or something like this was rejected twice before. Okay, so twice. And what? There's something like 25 different types of treatments for erectile dysfunction. Is that right? And then there's
a ton of treatments out there for men. Nothing for women. And part of that is just that science doesn't have that understanding of female sexuality and what drives female desire in the way that they do in men's sexuality. I mean, it really is, you take Viagra, messes with blood flow, increases stuff down there, 4 hours later, all done. That's a different process in women, and they have not cracked this entirely. And it's unclear that this is the drug. There are other people out there working on this and talking about an as-needed pill, something that wouldn't have to be taken every day. The idea
Could this be covered by insurance?
I suspect that will be a huge issue. If you're, there's going to be a lot of controversy about that. There will be a huge push to get it covered, but they're also pricing it at a level. Viagra and these sexual dysfunction drugs for men were not covered by insurance in many cases initially. They are treated as hey, you know what? You want to have sex, you're going to pay $10 a pill for the privilege.